Welcome in, everyone, to our Cracked Racquets Red Zone broadcast of the 2022 ITA Kickoff weekend. My name is Alex Gruskin. So happy to be steering this ship for the inaugural start of the 2022 college tennis season. Now, our Cracked Racquets team extraordinarily lucky to be able to bring you action from 7 regions happening across the country throughout the weekend. On today's coverage, we're going to focus on 2 in particular. We're going to focus on the Tennessee men's tennis team. They're taking on Old Dominion. That match scheduled to start in about 4 minutes, but we're going to get right into it, folks, and we'll run through all the day's scores throughout the course of our broadcast. We'll talk about the most notable results we've seen thus far on day one. But folks, we've got perhaps an upset brewing over at the Baylor women's region right now. That's where I want to start our coverage on court number 1 in our first match of the Baylor women's regional. The USC Trojans taking on the University of Miami Hurricanes. Right now, Canes in a comfortable might be a stretch, but they're certainly in an upset position. They take the doubles point over the Trojans. Right now, we tune into court number 1, where Eden Richardson, former All-American at LSU, now with the Hurricanes, she's got a 6-2, 5-6 lead on ITA number 1 singles player in the country, your ITA fall national champion, Erin Cayetano of USC. You look for Miami elsewhere. Again, they won that doubles point. They also won 3 first sets in singles. They get a win on 1. They get a win on 4. They also get a win on 5. That's half of the recipe you need, right, folks, to get that ultimate 4-point goal. Of course, you look right now in the other matches, USC taking first sets on court 6. They actually earned a win already on court number 3. So it's 1-1 now overall in the dual match. Court number 2 going 3 sets there. That matchup between Fenning and Snow Han. That's court number 3 on court number 2. But this is a tight one, folks. And obviously, you look for the USC Trojans, what they were able to accomplish in the fall with Erin Cayetano earning that number 1 ranking, Selma Ewing strong showings at both the ITA Nationals and the ITA All-Americans in the fall. You know, they feel pretty good about that top 2, Snow Han and, Mora, Piper, Wilson, the options they have up and down the lineup. They're expecting to advance through this regional, but credit to this Miami team. A bunch of new faces, familiar to us college fans, but new to the school this season, all playing together for the first time here on the kickoff weekend. As we go full screen, it's Eden Richardson serving on the far side of your screen, 5-6 in this first set. Again, it's 1-1 right now, all squared overall between USC and Miami. Believe that ball sailed long there. There's the confirmation for 15 all. Again, for those of you unfamiliar, as we see the scoreboard now on our screen, Eden Richardson transferring from LSU for her 5th and final year of eligibility in college. Of course, one of the many players impacted by the COVID pandemic, granted that extra year of eligibility by the NCAA. She chooses spend it in Miami. Not a terrible decision. There's that forehand from Cayetano. We were fortunate enough here at Cracked Racquets to be on the call for her championship win at the ITA National Fall Championships. It was a topsy-turvy match for Cayetano in the final against Princeton's Daria Freeman. Felt like there were about 30 minutes to open up that first set. She races out to a 5-love lead where she was just playing untouchable tennis. Team needs her to earn this set now, earn the split. Because again, right now, You're asking, which team would you rather be? Doubles point 3 first sets. Probably rather be Miami. Yanks that one wide, I believe, 4:30 all. Of course, you see the Baylor Bear in the background there. You see it on your screen coming up later today. It'll be an hour after whenever this match finishes. Baylor going to take on Kansas, your other two teams in this Baylor Kickoff Regional. Baylor's the number 14 seed. There's that Cayetano forehand. And folks, isn't it great to be back? Kickoff weekend, 15 regions, countless live streams. Shout out to our friends at Slam Tennis, of course, one place to follow all the scoreboards. College tennis is back. Beautiful forehand there from Cayetano. All of the sudden now, folks, 2 set points for the number 1 player in the country. Boy, would that be a boost for the Trojans. Be a big shift to our match calculus calculator. I don't think we have the slow clap sound effect working yet. We'll work it in as we move forward. This would be one of those moments, though, folks. One of those inflection points in the match. Deuce point coming up. Cayetano chooses deuce side. You can see the windy conditions, strong left to right push on your screen. Cayetano so smart to decisively attack that ad side of the court. She breaks, takes the second set. All of the sudden, here come the Trojans over in Waco. But if we can, super producer Daniel Westoff, let's introduce our other match happening right now on our Cracked Racquets Red Zone broadcast. That's, of course, a match happening over in Knoxville. You've got your number 1 team in the ITA coaches poll, Tennessee, 4-0 overall on the year thus far. Dramatic 4-3 victories for them on the road at TCU. 4-3 win at home earlier this week against Wake Forest. They begin their ITA kickoff weekend in a matchup against Old Dominion. Again, just making sure all the streams are set over there before we make that switch. I know doubles getting underway in Knoxville. You see right now, one last scoreboard update here in this USC Miami matchup as of now. Split sets here on 1. Selma Ewing looks like she's about to earn a split for the Trojans at 2. Already had a split on court number 3. Miami up 7-6, 1 love. That's Bach Collins on at position number 40. That says court 5. I know you see on your scoreboard that's the court they're playing on, not the position they are playing. USC's Piper, straight set win at the number 5 position. Then it looks like we're getting a split on court number 6 as well. So as things stand, look like we're headed towards 4 splits in that Miami USC matchup. Folks, again, college tennis is back, but you see here now live on your screen, court number 1 here in our Tennessee Old Dominion matchup. Always fun to get the chance to cover an NCAA champion. That's what we get to do here at the start of this matchup. Harper, Walton, for 2021 NCAA champs. A fantastic campaign it was for that duo last year, 19-6 overall. It's been a shaky start for them this season, though. 1-2 is the duo here to start the year. Now, yes, there's a tiebreaker loss thrown into the mix there, but I know Harper, I know Walton a bit. Hungry to get their season going the right direction here this weekend. Of course, serving on the near side of your screen, the Old Dominion duo, Jonas Lalamy, Oliver Nolan. Nolan transfer to the Old Dominion roster this season from UNC Asheville. Lalamy, sophomore, Casablanca, Morocco. I believe that's Lalamy serving on the near side of your screen. Deuce point coming up here. Well, they're NCAA champs for a reason, folks. Harper, Walton secure an early break on number 1. That's a great sign for this Tennessee team who, uncharacteristically, after so much success last year in doubles, dropped 2 doubles points against Wake Forest and and TCU to start their season. But good push here from the duo of Walton and Harper on 1. We'll get back to them momentarily if we can, Westhoff. Let's go to 2. It's all Tennessee right now. They're up a break early here as well. Shinsuke Matsui, Emil Hudd, 2 newcomers to Knoxville this season. Hudd via Oklahoma State, Mitsui via Japan. Mitsui, freshman, has paired so well with the transfer Hudd. 14-2, the duo are in their still very young career together in Knoxville. So successful throughout the course of the fall. Facing a relatively new duo as well for Old Dominion. Luca Donner, returner, now entering his 3rd year. Partnered with Cody Van Schuywick. Freshman this year for ODU. It's going to be an interesting year for Old Dominion. 12-10 last year. There's 2 of their 6 single starters replaced them. A couple of graduate students. Freshman in Ben Schuywick as well. It's big serving there, though, from what one can only imagine is Emil Hudd. Tell you what, one thing I did not miss about college tennis, the ball between ball court rollover. That's how you know we're back, folks. Hudd serving, that is him. 30 love, far side of your screen. One imagines big serve from Hudd, as he so often throws in. Leads to 4 game points here for the Volunteers. It's good, clean living there. Good service game from Hudd. He holds for 2 love now. Here on court number 2. Just a reminder, in case this is your first college tennis match or you've forgotten how the format works, it's first to 4 overall points in the team duel match. Where do those 4 points come from? Well, these 3 double sets you see on your screen constitute the doubles point. Whichever team can win 2 of 3. Going to take a 1-0 lead into our 6 singles matches, each of those worth 1 as well. Whichever team can get to 4 points overall first will advance to tomorrow's championship match in the Tennessee region. Of course, the winners here are going to face Memphis, who advanced with a thrilling 4-2 victory over Western Michigan. 5 of 6 singles matches, going 3 sets in that one. If we can, super producer Daniel Westhoff, we'll check back in on Discord. Well, let's see actually if the ODU duo, Mel Donner. I'm going to go with Skalkwich moving forward. It's my pronunciation. That duo up 30 love here. Appreciate those of you sending in the message correcting me. Solid start for this ODU team to the season. They knock out Penn State 5-2 in their opening match. Tough loss for them against Auburn in match number 2. Competitive match across the board, but 6-1 win in the end for the Auburn Tigers. Good return from Mitsui, and I had the chance to go down to Tennessee this fall, cover their Knoxville showdown. Tell you what, the Volunteers were exceptional. You could see the talent, and perhaps the one who stood out above all was the freshman Shinsuke Mitsui on the ad side of your screen here. Just so explosive. Tell right away this guy's going to have a successful college tennis career. Ugh. Well, you're up 2 love. Down a couple game points. Why not go big down the line? Emil Hudd, thunderous backhand. Now 40-30 here. You can tell just across the scoreboards right now. Certainly some sticker shock for ODU as they face last year's SEC tournament champions. Good serve, though. ODU gets on the board 1-2 here on 2. Let's go to court number 3 right now. Far side of your court, it's the Tennessee duo. Johannes Monday. Our team Prada. Duo played at the number 2 position last season for the Volunteers. Successful season overall. Duo goes 16-8. Prada's second match back in the lineup. That's, again, what makes the early losses of doubles points for Tennessee so confounding. You have your number 2 doubles position back this season, playing 1 spot lower in the lineup. You bring back your defending NCAA champions at the number 1 spot. You add the 14-2 duo of Hudd and Mitsui, and yet somehow you've lost 2 doubles points? That's much more what we expect out of this Tennessee team. Is to see the big put away there from Monday. Lefty sophomore. 19-5 at the number 2 singles position last year. 24-6 overall in singles on the season. Good serve into the body there. from Martin Prada. Out of that core, it's accomplished so much at Tennessee. He, Walton, Harper. Kick serve into the one-handed backhand. Works every time. Not every time, but a lot of the time. It's a good choice there from Prada. 3 game points now coming up for Tennessee. And I see you, Scotty B. Welcome back. He sees what's happening over at Baylor. That Miami-USC match remaining close as ever. We'll pop back there in a little bit. See, though, if Tennessee can't extend their run here right now. 3-1 on 2 courts, excuse me. Prada holds for 3-1 here on 3. Harper Walton, 3-1 up on 1. Stick around here, though. See if Francois Letalik, partner Yevhen Siros serving, 6'6" Ukrainian, graduate student, transfer from the University of Detroit Mercy. Go Titans. Should expect to see Letalik line up at that number 1 singles position for ODU when we get to that portion of the lineup. Letalik, the junior of France. Good move there from Letalik, and that's what you got to do in these sorts of situations. Play aggressively. Take your chances, even if you go down swinging. Don't let passive, dare I say, scared tennis define you here. I think ODU certainly came out a bit passive. They're down breaks on all 3 courts. That'll happen when you're playing the number 1 team in the country. Good to see them find their bearings here as we work our way into this match. It's a good let call. It's a great let call there. No issues from Letalik. I think it was George Bush who used to say that's just good strategery. Still 15-all here. Meanwhile, if we can, Westlife, can we go to court 1? 3 breakpoint chances right now for NCAA champs Walton and Harper. Excuse me, now 2 as we're at 30-40 to really separate themselves here. Extend their lead to 4-1, 2 breaks of serve. There's the break for the Volunteers. So now 4-1 lead here. Meanwhile, let's go back to 3. And again, we're going to stick around here as it looks like Tennessee may pull away with this doubles point. Good put away there for Letalik. 30-all now in the 1-3 service game of Siros. And of course, we are keeping our eye on the many matchups happening across the country. Cayetano has run away with the 3rd set. Both at Baylor will check in on there momentarily. It's big hitting from Joe Monday. You always feel good call your doubles lineup, and you can have someone with the talent of Joe Monday lining up at that number 3 position and justify it to other coaches. You say, hey, got the NCAA champs at 1. They're 14-2 at 2. Monday has to play 3. So that's what makes, again, those Tennessee victories early in the season so impressive, that they drop the doubles point, still win on the road at TCU. Well, I'm going to assume that's a big ball from Prada. So it's 4-1 lead now for the Volunteers on courts 1 and 3. With that in mind, if we can, super producer Daniel Westhoff, I know we're going to stick around here for a bit longer. Can we go back to Baylor USC? Miami USC. Check out what's happening on court number 1. Right now, it is all Aaron Cayetano. Drop that first set 6-2. Eden Richardson, multi-time All-American now, finishing her collegiate career at Miami. If we can, super producer Westhoff, can we get the scoreboard up? Show all of our viewers where things stand across the board right now. Does feel like the Trojans are making a push at a couple of courts. Ooh, if we can we go to court number 4, which I believe is the number 2 singles match. Court number 4, which is number 2 singles. Here we go. Selma Ewing. Certainly one of the 20 best performers in college tennis this fall. I believe semifinalist, if not quarterfinalist. The ITA All-American. 3 set points here. Extend her match to a 3rd set. Here, the emotion for Selma Ewing. Big boost to the Trojans again. They earned the split on 2. You see Coach running over. Give her players some love. Trojans now making a push. We're back on 1-30 all in the service game of Eden Richardson. Now the number 1 player in the country in USC's Cayetano. You can see the indecisiveness there. Cayetano wanted to hit a forehand so badly, begrudgingly takes that backhand up the line, error into the net. So now 2 game points here for Richardson. Again, 3rd sets right now on courts 1, 2, 3, and 6. USC took a straight set decision on 5. Baylor up a set on 4. Baylor Miami up a set on 4. Ball just wide from Cayetano. So Richardson on the board. 1-3 here at 1. If we can, let's go to court number 2, the match at number 3 singles. Isabella Fenning, sophomore for Miami, serving near side of your screen. Taking on Snow Hahn. Redshirt freshman, highly ranked for the Trojans. Hahn missed most, if not all, of last season. I guess all with the redshirt, with injury. Getting her back, a big boost for the Trojans as they look to reach beyond the round of 16 this year. One up their performance from last year. Tell you what, though, Isabella Fenning, she was excellent last season. ITA All-American, 18-6 in singles. Seeded last year at the NCAA tournament, peaked at number 10 in the ITA rankings. There's a lot to like about this Miami lineup. Chances here for Hahn. 3 break points here to get one of the breaks back. Look at this wind, folks. You can see swirling over in Waco today. You can see on the right of your screen updates on all of the courts. Where things stand. Only decision in the books, the straight set decision for USC at number 5 singles. Two more break chances here for redshirt freshman from USC, Snow Hot. Ball just wide as well, so 15-40 becomes deuce. And I'll tell you what, if you're Miami, you took that doubles point. You have to ask who's had the better performance in singles thus far. You'd have to credit probably USC. Meanwhile, doubles point about to end in Tennessee. We're going to head back there after this deuce point, but we are keeping our eyes here on this region. Now we're talking, folks. Danielle Collins is in the Australian Open. Could one of these players be the next Danielle Collins? Maybe. Why not? It's a heck of a hold from Isabella Fenning. So things heating up in Waco. Meanwhile, we're back in Knoxville. It was a 6-1 for set for Tennessee at 1. Harper Walton finding that form we all became so familiar with during their NCAA championship run last year. Meanwhile, it's Mitsui Hud serving. Shinsuke Mitsui, the freshman, near side of your screen. 5-2 lead on 2. Meanwhile, Tennessee up 5-2 on 3 as well. Prada serving there. We're going to bet on Mitsui to hold before Prada, but if there's a set point on 3, we'll get there first. Again, 5-2 right now. Just the easiest little put away there in the books. Meanwhile, Westhoff, let's go to 3. I think they're going to be ahead of these guys. Yep, 40-15, match point here. Down the middle, solves the riddle. Tennessee, 1-love lead now over Old Dominion. 6-1 set from Harper Walton in 1, then 6-2 set from Monday and Prada at 3. Meanwhile, I think simultaneous finish, it looks like, for Mitsui and Hud. If not, they're up 5-2, 40-15 when the match is completed right there on the finish line. But if you're head coach Chris Woodruff, associate head coach James McKay, you're feeling much better about that performance in doubles from the number 1 team in the country. Meanwhile, 5-minute break as they figure out who goes where in singles. Let's go back to Waco if we can, West off. And let's just start out with Isabel Fenning's court. Let's go back there if we can. It's Fenning right now, 5-1. Lead on Snohan. That's court number 2 over in Baylor. Get that scoreboard for all of you up there as well. Fenning just giving nothing away for free right now. She's 2 points away, putting a second point on the board. Scotty B commenting, he bets Baylor is loving that this match is going to go in really long. I'm going to disagree with you a bit, Scotty. There's nothing more frustrating in the world than sitting around and waiting for your scheduled match to begin. If Baylor's lucky, this match will start an hour and a half after it was scheduled to begin, and that's being generous. So I bet head coach Joey a little frustrated right now, ready to get his match underway. Yep, that's the sort of power tennis Snohan can play. That's why so many people associated with the USC program so excited about her future. See that scoreboard now on the right side of your screen. Early stages of the third sets on courts 2 and 6, but right now looks like it's going to be 2 all through 4 matches as USC's opened up a lead at 1, and Fenning looking very good here at 3 right now. Fenning guesses wrong though. Han holds. Going to force Fenning to at least have to serve it out. 5-2 lead here on court number 3. Let's go back to 1 if we can, Westoff. Cayetano. 4-2, 30-15 lead here on Eden Richardson. Kind of serving far side of your screen. It's tough here if you're Eden Richardson because Cayetano will give you unforced errors. There are times when that forehand misfires at the same time. The moment you're tentative and you give her time to set on that forehand, that's when she's most dangerous. So it's notable to see Richardson step in inside that baseline. Look to put some pressure on Cayetano here with this return of serve. Okay, don't look now, folks. 2 break point chances here for Eden Richardson to get us back on serve at number 1. It's 50-50 right now, folks. Anyone's ball game. It's Miami USC battle. Two forehand combination. Deadly from Cayetano. That combo right there is why she's currently number 1 in the country. You see her open up so much court with that inside-out ball. Takes the space given to her with the inside in. Deuce point coming up. I expect to see Richardson go deuce side on this return. Of course, here you go. The deciding point. Heck of a name for a show, by the way. Yep. Again, you see her stepping in there. She's giving Cayetano that look. Don't hang your second serve. I'm coming after it. It's too good. Oh no, that ball sails wide. Excuse me. So Cayetano goes for broke on the +1 forehand. Misfires, and now we're back on serve here on court number 1. Meanwhile, we go back to court number 3. Snow Han making a push, folks. Here come the Trojans. 2-5, but love 30 now. The surface game of last year's All-American freshman Isabel Fenning. And apologies for continuing to harp on this point. There's an unmistakable wind right now flowing across these Bird Tennis Center courts in Waco. Isabel Fenning's ball is just taking off the moment it hits the court. Great defense there from Han. The moment she gets the chance to step into the court, she does. Gets the break of serve. 3-5 now. She stays alive here on 3. Well, again, it is too close to call across the board elsewhere. Keeping our eyes on just about everything. Also keeping our eyes on the action in Knoxville. As soon as the singles play gets underway, we'll head back over there. Don't want to miss out on too much of the drama here, but of course, want to keep all of you Tennessee fans happy as well. Interesting note for Tennessee in a lineup choice they have today. Keep that in mind. Meantime, let's see if, again, Snowhan can't just ask that question of Fenning once more, force her to serve this match out. Snowhan. Oh, seemingly overruled on that call. given the slumping of the shoulders. Let's see. Scoreboard. Indeed, she was overruled. So Fenning, 15 all now. I'm going to regret not putting that first volley away. Certainly had her chance there. Ooh. If we can, Westhoff, let's quickly go to 1. Cayetano right now. 4 break point chances. Take a 5-3 lead on court 1 for the Trojans. Looks like she missed that ball in the net, so we'll assume it's 15-40 in the Eden Richardson service game, excuse me. Of course, keep that eye on Fenning as well. If she gets to match point, we'll head back there. Great point there. You hear the roar from Cayetano. She'll now serve for the match here on 1. Meanwhile, back to 3 if we can, Westhoff. This is where the red zone feature comes in handy, folks. We want to follow all of these big points. 30 all right now. Isabella Fenning, 2 points away from giving her Miami team a 2-1 lead over USC, of course. Cayetano in a position to quickly tie that match at 2 all. Man, if Han can win this service game, just sneak out of it, maybe ride that momentum, of a Cayetano win to another break of serve. This one feels critical, folks. Let's get the momentum going for one of these teams. Critical double fault there, so now 30-40. 2 match points for 2021 All-American Isabella Fenning to give Miami a 2-1 lead. Just wide. That ball from Isabella Fenning. So now a deuce point coming up. There it is. Isabella Fenning. 4-6, 6-2, 6-3, the All-American winner over Snow Hans. Now a 2-1 lead for the Miami Hurricanes. Meanwhile, let's go back to 1. Erin Cayetano now 2 points away as she's opened up a 30-15 lead here. service game. If we can, let's go full screen. Super producer Daniel Westoff. See if Cayetano, number one player in the country, ITA fall match champ, close this one out. Second serve tee. That's confidence, folks. Extraordinary play, from Cayetano. Now 3 match points here. Aaron Cayetano, 2-6, 7-5, 6-3. It's 2-all, folks, here in Waco. Meanwhile, just want a quick peek in on court number 2 if we can, Westoff. That's court 4 on the PlaySite broadcast. Court number 2 right now. Ewing raced out to a 3-love lead here. Meanwhile, if we can, let's just go around the building real quick. Court number 5. Number 4 singles match. It's Audrey Bach-Collins, the former Baylor Bear, back at her old school now competing for Miami. She's got a 7-6, 4-3 lead over a familiar name. Too many college tennis fans. You see the Mora. You're like, I know a Mora. Doesn't she play for UNC? This is Sloan Mora. Younger sister to Cam. If I'd recognize a two-handed forehand like that just about anywhere. Clearly a grind still. I want to point out 3 matches had reached the 3rd set before this match had completed the 1st set, and it feels very much like this match could come down to the result here on 4. Meanwhile, if we can quickly pop over to 6. It's Danielle Wilson, senior for the Trojans, up 4-3 on serve here in the 3rd set. Takes on Maya Tahan, 3rd-year sophomore for Miami. Sails a bit on her there. So it's the home stretch here of USC Miami. We'll come back to that momentarily as we get towards set points. In the meanwhile, Westoff, let's go to Tennessee. If we can actually, let's reset things maybe before we go to Tennessee if we can. Sort of talk about where things stand across the country. Bunch of good matches happening right now, and you can follow all of these matches with our friends at Slam Tennis. You look across the board. Of course, I've mentioned some of the results we've already seen on the day. One of my favorite results thus far, dramatic 4-2 victory for Memphis over Western Michigan. Western Michigan splitting sets in 5 of the 6 singles flights. Memphis dropping the doubles point, ultimately able to find 4 singles victories. They now await the winner of Tennessee ODU, of course, Mississippi State women. Winner earlier on the day over Iowa. That's at the Georgia region. Tulsa, 4-2 win for the Tulsa women over Oregon. You also had the Texas women looking like defending national champions. Took them about 2 hours turn a 4-0 victory over Florida Atlantic. Of course, you've got Washington, Denver happening right now, Arizona State, Auburn, North Carolina, Charlotte, Georgia, North Florida. Plenty of fun action happening across the country. Of course, here we're focused on a couple of regions in particular. With that in mind, let's go back to Knoxville. Super producer Daniel Westoff talk you through the singles matches we see for the Volunteers. And for the Volunteers, by the way, was a dominant performance in doubles. Team earns a 6-1 victory at the number 1 spot, defending NCAA champions Adam Walton, Platt Harper getting the job done there. They also get 6-2 victory from Johannes Monday, Martin Prada at 3. Now their number 2 doubles team, Hud Mitsui, up 5-2, 40-15. At the time play was stopped. We now head into the singles portion of today's matchup, and a couple of interesting notes for both of these teams. You look for Old Dominion in particular. They played a match earlier this season against Auburn. That was last week, I should say, where Francois Latalik, who we saw at the number 3 doubles position, played number 1 singles for them. Now, Latalik did not play in their prior match against Penn State. That seems to be the case again for this Old Dominion team. Francois Latalik, unable to go, top 75 player in the country, just not quite healthy enough to pull the trigger today in singles. Therefore, everyone slides up for ODU today. And that kicks us off here at the number 1 singles position, serving on the far side of your screen. Tennessee senior Adam Walton. Walton, of course, been a staple in this Tennessee lineup now. Past 4 years, you look at what he was able to do last season at the top of the lineup again. Extraordinarily successful campaign. Well, one of those few players in the country to earn ITA All-American honors in both singles and doubles. Holds for 3-1 here. So it's already opened up an early lead. Meanwhile, his opponent today for ODU, Luca Maldonor Jr. of Austria. Talked about this earlier. Many returners, 4 of 6 in last year's singles lineup for ODU. Maldonor, one of them, was All-Conference USA last season. In doubles, 2nd team in singles. Played the number 1 slot where he was 9-8 for the team. Rattled off 8 straight victories at one point during the season. Very hot and cold, though. You know, that's something they're focused on this season, getting more consistent performance out of Maldonor at the top as he becomes an upperclassman. Of course, for those of you who have never seen Adam Walton play, not going to overwhelm you with +1 power, not going to hit the flashiest ball you'll ever see, but some people are just good at tennis. Adam Walton's one of those people, just scraps and claws and finds his way to winning in the end. Tough matchup here for Maldonor today. True story. Pretty sure Adam Walton, only player in NCAA history, turned a 6-love first set win over Will Blumber throughout his college career. Put that on the refrigerator, I suppose. Sorry to have to do this, fans in Knoxville. We've got plenty of singles more to come. Westhoff, we have to go back to Waco as soon as this point wraps up. Let called there by Walton. We're going to go to court number 6 in Waco right now. USC could be about 5 minutes from ending this match. Now, right here on your screen, we checked in it moments ago. Danielle Wilson, senior for the Trojans. 5-3 lead over Tahan of Miami, the third-year sophomore. Wilson now 15-30. Had gotten the break, was 4-3, ends up breaking Tahan, which is when we last saw her. Now 30-15 up on serve. That 30 all, but still 2 points away there. Meanwhile, Selma Ewing up 5-love in the third in her match against Davinia Chung, fourth year for the Hurricanes. Chung up 30-love in her love 5 service game, so it looks like she's going to force Ewing to serve it out. We'll keep that an eye on that. That's, again, court number 4, just so you know, super producer Daniel Westhoff, number 2 singles. So keep your eye on court 4. Meanwhile, 30 all here for the Trojan senior Danielle Wilson. Not quite yet, says Tahan. You can see again, blistering might be too strong, but a significant crosswind here at the Hurd Tennis Center in Waco. It's played a factor in all of these matches. Wilson cracks first. So Maya Tahan gets the break back. You can see associate head coach Alex Santos standing on the court. 4-5 there. Meanwhile, let's go back again. Court number 2 by position number 4 via the stream if we can, Westhoff. Selma Ewing 5-love up. 30-15 here, though, for Miami. Fourth-year junior, Davinia Chung. Of course, for USC to take the first sets on courts 1 and 2. That was the gut punch. Seemed to wake these Trojans up here. Fitting, isn't it, that it's Ewing, Cayetano, senior Danielle Wilson leading the charge now for the Trojans.
Here, Daddy.
Match points coming up after that return. 30-40 here, 2 of them. More Selma Ewing.
Keep it going.
That's one way to do it. Selma Ewing completes a 5-7, 7-5, 6-love comeback. All of a sudden, USC Trojans 1 point away. Overcoming a double point deficit, escaping with a victory over Miami. Meanwhile, we're back on court number 6. Maya Tahan, sophomore for the Miami Hurricanes, was down 5-3, breaks USC senior Danielle Wilson, now serving 15-love on the far side of your court. Wilson, a rock for the Trojans last year. Coach Allison Swain, this is exactly who you want in this position. For what it's worth, another match still in play. Right now it's Audrey Bach-Collins, transfer to Miami from Baylor, running up a set in 5-4 on serve. USC's freshman Mora. Keep an eye on that. If that gets to match point, we might have a winner here. No matter what, in the next 10 minutes. And of course, 1 hour after this match concludes, get to the start of our Baylor-Kansas nightcap here on our broadcast. 40 love here. Unfortunately, play site stream being a bit difficult with us. And sails on her though. On holds. Of course, 5-all here in the third on 6. Meanwhile, for those of you curious, right now Tennessee already cruising in their matchup against ODU. In fact, we may have to get back there shortly. Johannes Monday already a 6-1 first set on court 2. 5-1 leads for them on 4 and 5. If we can, super producer Westhoff, cue them up. Let's go see those endings of the first sets at Tennessee. Again, courts 4 and 5 right now. Doubles partners Hud Mitsui 5-1 up. This is the difficulty of these red zones. Let's do it. Let's switch over there now. Watch the ending of these first sets. Go court 4 first at Tennessee. $30-15 right now for Emil Hud, returning on the near side of your screen. Currently the lead for him over Cody Van Skalquick. Skalquick, freshman for ODU. Nice serve there for 30-all. Meanwhile, again, Tennessee's already taken a first set. 6-1 from Johannes Monday. They've got 5-1 leads on courts 4 and 5. 4-2 lead on court 6. It's actually 4-1. ODU on 3. Martin Prada still working his way back from injury. Credit to grad student Siros. His success there. Not a bad forehand from Emil Hud. Plenty of open court to work with. Such a heavy forehand there to deal with. So now, 2 set point chances for the transfer from Oklahoma State. That crouch though, 6'6", getting into the court there. Look for him to take this ball early and get in. Yep, it's Emil Hud for you folks. First set for him here on 4. Let's go to 5 right now. Shinsuke Matsui, 4 set points. Oh, looks like he beat us to the punch. Shinsuke Matsui, 6-1. Let's go to 6 if we can. Here's a bold choice by Coach Mackay. Coach Woodruff today. It's Pat Harper, senior. Singles rubber for him at 6. Great question, Jinjin, from in the chat, who's asking who we're covering. The 7 regions we're covering, as we see Pat Harper earning the break now, 5-2 lead here for Tennessee. If we can, let's go to court number 1. Right now, Mel Donner, Walton, 4-2 in the first, but our 7 regions that we will be covering throughout the weekend. On the women's side, got Baylor, Duke, Ohio State, and NC State. On the men's side, Baylor, USC, Tennessee. For unfortunately, no Stanford for us. The Stanford men are at UCF, Stanford women at Virginia. Say a 6% chance we get the Virginia women's region, but sadly, no UCF for us. So see here though, a couple game points for Mel Donner. See if you can just get on the board here. Again, try to flip the momentum a bit already. 3 first sets quickly on the board for the Volunteers. They mean business. #1 team in the country. 1 hour into this match, already halfway at the finish line. It's a good hold, though, from Mel Donner here. So 4-3, excuse me, Walton up a break. Let's go back to 6 if we can. Super producer Daniel Westoff right now. Pat Harper serving for the set. See what the old dog can do. Tell you what, you know who's happy to be back on the court competing today? Pat freaking Harper. So many injuries for him throughout the course of these past couple of seasons. You look for Harper last year, able to play just 10 singles matches. So he's never quite healthy. Of course, this Tennessee team. Oh, there's Harper there. Plenty of options at the bottom of the lineup this season. You figure Walton, Monday, Hud, Mitsui, locks right now to play somewhere in the singles lineup. Prada, when healthy, certainly will be in that mix as well. After that, you got a nice cluster. Diaz, Gannon, Harper, Wallner. Of course, the guy left out there, hidden gem, ace in the hole, Blaze Bicknell. Undefeated last year for Florida at #4. If he's eligible to play, you throw him in that lineup. That's national championship good, folks. Brutally efficient from Pat Harper. 6-2 first set. That's #4 for Tennessee here on ODU. Meanwhile, again, Tennessee in cruise control. Let's go back to Baylor, where all of the sudden, script has been flipped. Deciding match. I apologize. Wanted to get you all catch out this Tennessee match. Bach Collins closes out a 7-6, 6-4 win for Miami. So about 5 minutes ago, it felt like, okay, who'd you rather be? A USC Trojan, right? Ewing gets the job done. Cayetano gets the job done. Of course, I got the straight set win from Piper at 5 as well. So it was 3-2. They were sitting pretty. Danielle Wilson serving for the match. Mora on serve in the second set against Bach Collins. All of a sudden now, it's Miami. 1 Maya Tahan service game away from a fantastic 4-3 win over the Trojans. You gotta love college tennis, folks. The momentum shifts never end. Ball in the net there And Wilson's 15 love. And the winner of this match going to face the winner of the Baylor Bear Kansas match coming up about 1 hour after this concludes. On ITA National Indoor Championship round of 16 on the line here this weekend for all of these schools competing. It's the women's event will be held February 11th weekend in Madison, Wisconsin. Men's event the following week, Seattle, Washington. Ball called good from Tahan. She gave it a second look. Maybe if it was first set, that call goes a different way. But right now, all eyes on. Certainly, line judges across the board now. 15-30, Wilson 2 points away. The senior versus sophomore here. Decide this match at 6. That's unforced. I know that's a first serve. That's unforced. Nerves of the moment. Both of these players, 30 all now. Look now, folks. 2 match points from Maya Tahan and Miami. Send a message to the rest of the country. The ACC is not going anywhere in 2022. Oh, it's in. Oh, come on now. Edge of your seat sort of stuff, folks. Danielle Wilson, blistering cross-court forehand. She forces a deuce point. You imagine head coach Page 2's her players. See Allison Swain, I believe, there. Chatting with her senior. Deuce point coming up. Let's go. Let's go. Third set breaker coming up. This is what it's all about, folks. Opening match, kickoff weekend. We're back. We are back. Wilson fights off 2 match points for the USC Trojans. Somewhere right now, Steve Weissman breathing a sigh of relief. It's not over yet, folks. Third set breaker, 1-7, win by 2. I bring that up because I know in Australia they do it a bit differently here. 1-7, win by 2. We'll switch sides every 6. Wilson to serve first. What an effort there from the senior. Clear we've reached that part of the match, folks. Tentative tennis, the name of the game in this breaker, and credit to Tahan there. Clearly much more comfortable generating pace on that forehand wing. This lulls Wilson to sleep on that backhand side till she can sneak around, set up that inside in forehand. It's a great play from her. We're on serve here, 1-2. USC serving far side of your screen. Tell you what, I'm not sure if Maya Tahan's ever missed a ball in the net. The net clearance. She's given herself some margin, folks. Now that one sprays wide on her.
Let's go, Tahan. Let's go. Here we go.
Again, indicative of the nerves, in my opinion. In the meantime, yeah, Westhoff, if you don't mind, great idea from him. He's going to pull up that Tennessee scoreboard to give you all an update on the changeover. See, cruising right now in their first match against Old Dominion. Back and forth stuff, and if we can, super producer Daniel Westhoff, can we pull up that scoreboard actually now? I want a quick note there, as we do have all of our first sets now in the books. 5-1 split to Tennessee. Martine Prada dropping the only set on the day thus far to Yevon Siros. Grad transfer from UD Mercy to Old Dominion. Of course, Prada still working his way back from injury. Everyone else rocking and rolling. for Tennessee. Meanwhile, back here again. Mini break now to Tahan. That forehand cross court, attacking that deuce side of the court, has clearly been the more successful play for Danielle Wilson. And now 3-all here at the turn, and you ask yourself, who would you rather be in this moment? Would you rather be the third-year sophomore Tahan or the senior Wilson, who has seen so many of these scenarios before? Not to say Tahan hasn't been there, but I think I would lean towards the senior Wilson, who, with just a reset for all of you where things stand in this match, Miami comes out, gives a little gut punch to the Trojans, taking the doubles point, taking first sets at the number 1 singles position, number 2 singles position, also taking a first set at number 4 as well. Now, ultimately, Trojans made a big push, led by their top 2. Cayetano, 6-3 win in the third over Richardson. Ewing, 6-love win in the third over Chong. Of course, a huge shout out to Piper as well. You look for the Trojans, Grace Piper, the freshman, delivering a straight set win for them at the number 5 singles position. Now, of course, Miami responds. Third set win from Isabella Fenning, 6-3 in the third. Straight set, hard fought win from Bach Collins over Mora at 4. It comes down to 6. 3-all in the breaker now. 3-all overall. Of course, Chris Halliors wants to take the moment to point out that Siros was at Radford after being at UD Mercy prior to coming to Old DU. To you, Chris Halliors, as always, I say, if you want to come on the broadcast, you know there's a spot for you. Tahan for 3 now over Wilson. Yep. That's the pattern. Danielle Wilson knows it's coming. I think Maya Tahan obviously knows what she's trying to do. Inside out, get Wilson stretched wide on that backhand side to open up the deuce side to attack with her forehand. You see head coach Allison Swain, I believe. That actually may be assistant coach Elizabeth Bagley. Fair, tough to tell. No doubt both coaches on hand. Nice serve there from Wilson into that Tahan backhand. That's the wing she's obviously trying to attack here. Tahan doing a great job being aggressive with her footwork in these scenarios. And I actually really like that play from Tahan. Force yourself. Keep your feet active. Don't get passive within the rally. For her, it's finding forehand. Khan questioning the call. Confirmed across the board. Still up a mini break, though. 5-4 lead here. Miami 2 points away from earning what I think we can definitively say would be an upset here on the kickoff weekend. There are the nerves, though, folks. These are the things you can't replicate in the fall. No matter how hard you try and practice, you're just not going to feel those 3-all nerves until you feel them. And, of course, for Tahan, 14-8 last season, reached the NCAA doubles championship. Diana Coden. You got opportunity for her, though, to deliver a singles victory. The ball. Feels like Wilson's either ripped that one for a forehand winner. She's hit it for an unforced error. This time it was the unforced error. Match point number 3 here for Maya Tahan. Wow, a tentative second serve. Draws the forehand error from Tahan. She went big on that one. Credit to her. You play to win in these sorts of scenarios, but the error comes back to bite her. 6-all on the turn again. 3-all here. Winner of this tiebreaker, winning our first round matchup here in the ITA kickoff weekend between Miami and USC. USC, one of the biggest winners of the fall in all of college tennis. Erin Cayetano ending the season as your preseason, I suppose, #1 with her win at the ITA Fall National Championship. And Selma Ewing, extraordinarily successful. Both of them earning come from behind wins over Miami here. And then you get a big win from your freshman in straight sets at 5 as well. Can the senior deliver for the Trojans, or will it be this relatively new group of Miami athletes competing together, getting the job done? No, she missed that one wide. She knew it. You could tell coming off of the rack. It still appeals there. Now, first match point opportunity for the Trojans. Always appreciate a good disagreement, Jin. I agree with you. It is clearly windy. Everything exploding off of these courts, that much more so. That is a forehand. Wow. What a point! What a match! Danielle Wilson, 7-6, 1-6, 7-6. She fights off 3 match points to deliver the USC Trojans a 4-3 survival of a victory here on day 1 of the ITA kickoff weekend. Boy, what a fun match to start off our action in Waco. Of course, we'll head back to Waco in an hour for the eventual Baylor Kansas kickoff. That match going to start 2 hours behind schedule. You imagine both coaches a bit frustrated by that fact, but certainly worth it for us here on the stream as we were treated to a 4-3 thriller. Now, what else do we have going on right now? Couple of other matches across the country. You can follow all of the action with our friends at Slam Tennis. But for now, we go back to Tennessee, where our first and only point of Joe Monday seems to be his match point, up 6-1, 5-4 here. And make that game, set, match Monday. So Tennessee roaring to a 2-love lead over ODU as Monday delivers the goods for the Volunteers. Meanwhile, right now, elsewhere, if we can, let's go to court number 4. All Emil Hud, folks. 6-1, 5-1. He's serving now near side of your screen. Make it 3-love here for Tennessee. Meanwhile, Shinsuke Mitsui up 6-1, 4-3 on serve. Pat Harper. Can we go to court 6 quickly? Harper right now, breakpoint chances. Let's make it 6-2, 5-2 there. Could be an efficient hour-and-a-half performance for the Volunteers here today, folks. And again, we apologize for not showing more of them. This is just a testament to their performance. 4-0, number 1 in the country. They're on a business trip here this season. You can see that determination, that purpose here in their performance today. Another break point chance for Harper here. Meanwhile, Hud 3 points away on 4. Ball sails wide. We play on 6. Back to 4 if we can, West of Emil Hud. Now 30-15 lead, 2 points away. The big serving, former Oklahoma State Cowboy. Tennessee Volunteer. Misses the bunny there, but we look for Hud. It's so good already for Tennessee. 12-3 in the fall. It's 12-3 in date. 3-1 here in the spring. And to get a guy who's been ranked as high as top 60 in the country, number 4 singles, you feel pretty good. Match points coming up here for Emil Hud. That'll do it. Comfortable day at the office for the big serving senior Emil Hud. Advances in straight sets. 6-1, 6-1. It's over. Old Dominion freshman Skalkwick. So now you look across the board here. It's all Tennessee, folks. Next closest on the board. Let's go to 5 if we can. Mitsui, the freshman. 3 breakpoint chances. That's the love. 30 points now. 4 breakpoint chances. Give himself a shot to serve for the match. And quickly send the Tennessee Volunteers into the round of 32 here. Or technically, second week of the kickoff weekend. However you want to describe it. Round of 30, I suppose. There it is. So explosive is the freshman Mitsui with his quickness, his ability to get to that net so easily. Just again, take time away from his opponents now, and you can see it's all Tennessee across the board. Walton, 6-3 first set. Down a break in the second, 3-2. Certainly a silver lining there for Mel Donner. Siros The set on serve at 3 for Old Dominion over Martine Prada. Bottom of the lineup, of course, is what separates the good from the great. And right now, Tennessee looks great in the bottom of their lineup. Mitsui serving for the match here. 6-1-5-3. All right, two things. A, that low backhand volley epitomizes all of the talent that Shinsuke Mitsui possesses. B, that whiffed overhead epitomizes the fact that he's a freshman. He's having fun out there, and there's a ball of energy. You can see associate head coach James Mackay on court there with Mitsui. Oh, that's very, very nice. But again, Mitsui up 6-1-5-3. Why is he there? Well, to quote Coach Mackay, there's a lot of freshmen in Mitsui. So excited, just this massive ball of energy and talent that they're molding into what could be a potential superstar. Take that process very seriously. I mean, come on now. This is 5 singles, and he's hitting these shots. 2 points away now from clinching the match. Meanwhile, his teammate Pat Harper 3 points away. See who can get the job done first. Yeah. Serving and volleying. Like he's Chris Woodruff in 1994. Shinsuke Mitsui now. 3 match points. Secure a comfortable 4-0 victory for the Volunteers. Well, to quote Staples, that was easy. Unbelievable stuff there from the freshman Mitsui. Passing shot down the line. It felt like Old Dominion was trailing from the get-go here. Went down breaks on all 3 doubles courts to start the match. Tennessee decisive doubles point goes their way. Straight set victory from Monday at 2. Hudd at 4. Then Mitsui, the freshman, with the clinch at 5 to give Tennessee a 4-0 win, where now they advance to face fellow in-state foe in the University of Memphis. We'll have that matchup for all of you tomorrow here on our stream. Of course, let's talk quickly about what's going on elsewhere in the country right now. Plenty of fun kickoff weekend action happening across the United States. Let's start first, again, some of the results we've seen already on the day. You turn to whether it be, and, again, all of these results available with our friends at Slam Tennis. The UCF women tested in their first round match. Ultimately, they survived 4-2 win for them over UC Santa Barbara. Of course, that UCF women's team played a fantastic round of 16 match last year against Duke. Lost a couple of pieces from that squad, but certainly have the talent to be in the mix once again this year. Big win for them. Big win for the aforementioned Memphis. Drop the doubles point. Win 4 singles flights, 3 of them in 3 sets. 2-4-2 win over Western Michigan. You had a good win from Mississippi State, 4-1 over Iowa. Good win from the Tulsa women, 4-2 over Oregon. Texas, defending national champs, dominant in a 4-0 win over Florida Atlantic. That win, much like the Tennessee win, took about an hour and a half. Matches going on right now elsewhere in the country. Dominant 4-0 wins from a Cal women's team, fresh off a win over Pepperdine, Georgia, 4 over North Florida in about an hour 15, and then North Carolina doing what North Carolina women do best. Dominant start to their defending their national indoors campaign. Now, right now, other matches happening across the country. Arizona State, Auburn, they're going head-to-head. Believe that women's match is happening in Orlando. You've also got Washington takes the 1-0 doubles point lead over Denver. They're at UCLA. That's an interesting matchup to watch because certainly when you look at the UCLA Bruins women's team, they're coming off of a tricky loss to the LMU squad from earlier this week. So that UCLA women's team a bit down in their confidence. Feels like there's certainly an opportunity there for Washington to make some magic happen this weekend. Of course, there are other matches happening right now as well and will happen throughout the day. You've got Notre Dame SMU on the men's side, UCLA Cal Poly going to happen on the women's side. Virginia Regional kicking off later today, 5 p.m. Eastern time. Michigan Wolverines taking on Wake Forest in what is your men's matchup on the day. You've got Stanford women playing later, Vanderbilt women playing later. Plenty more action to come. And again, we will be back in about an hour to cover the Baylor Kansas women's kickoff. Certainly, if we learned anything about that Baylor regional, USC, a dramatic come from behind 4-3 win over the University of Miami. The winner of this Baylor Kansas match going to play the winner of that one tomorrow. Certainly, again, if that sets the tone for what we can expect, it should be a fun day of remaining play down in Waco. But for now, going to take about a 15, 30-minute break, make sure everything's working good on our end so that when we can come back, we can give you the best product we can offer moving forward as well. And again, that is what we will be doing all weekend long, covering this 2022 ITA kickoff weekend. We've got 7 regions of action for you here at Cracked Racquets throughout the course of the weekend. We hope all of you will stick with us and join us throughout the event. But for now, I'm your host, Alex Gruskin. Shout out to super producer Daniel Westoff. You've been watching our Cracked Racquets coverage of the 2022 ITA kickoff weekend. Welcome back, everyone, to our Cracked Racquets coverage of the 2022 ITA Kickoff weekend. It's been a fantastic start to the weekend. Certainly, if you watched our earlier session today, you watched a thrilling 4-3 finish between the USC Trojans and the Miami Hurricanes. USC coming back after dropping the doubles points and 3 first sets to earn a 4-3 victory, clinched by a 36-shot rally by senior Danielle Wilson at the number 6 singles spot. That was a 7-6 victory for the Trojans. Now the question for all of us: who are the Trojans going to face tomorrow as they look to clinch a spot in the final 16 field at the National Indoors? Well, that's what we're trying to find out here this afternoon as we go back to Waco, Texas for our afternoon matchup between the hosts and number 14 seeds entering this event, the Baylor Bears, taking on a Big 12 conference foe in Kansas. Now, it was a bit of a screw up on our part. We apologize for that. Looks like they started the doubles pretty quickly after the USC Miami match ended. That's on me. I had forgotten there were the additional courts at Baylor for the players to warm up, so they didn't need to wait around. They were ready to rock and roll as soon as the action begun. In that doubles point, we saw Baylor take a much-needed victory. You look for the Baylor Bears. It was a funky start to their season. They drop their first match of the year against BYU, end up coming back, earning a win in match number 2 over in Vegas, over Illinois. So 1-1 entering this event. They take on a Kansas program that is not that far removed from a Big 12 conference tournament title. Kansas winning that conference tournament title back in 2019. Now, of course, given it's been a pandemic these past 18 months, 2019 feels like a lifetime ago for all of us, but there are still some familiar faces on this Kansas roster, and you look for Kansas coming off of the season last year that, was not the best. For Coach Chapman and the team at 8-12 overall. They'll be looking to bounce back here in 2022. Many familiar faces on the roster. Again, as such, do not be surprised to see today's match go the distance. Do not be surprised to see this one also be tightly contested. With that in mind, you see the scoreboard on your right. Let's get to the action. We start at the number 1 position. This is a major development for the Baylor Bears. They have not had senior Mel Krywaj on the roster yet thus far compete here in the spring. She unfortunately out with injuries and just, staying fresh for this kickoff weekend. She's back though for the Baylor Bears. No more messing around. They need her here in that number 1 spot. She's going to take on Malkia Ganui, There we go. Got it. There we go. From Kansas, you look for her, the senior from Washington, D.C., certainly plenty of experience. Again, one of those connective thread players to that 2019 Big 12 championship run. Of course, that spring, she was able to contribute at the number 6 singles spot, tallied up 7-3 record overall as a freshman, was named second team all Big 12 doubles as well. Of course, last year was an all Big 12 singles first team selection, lining up at the number 1 spot for the Jayhawks. Of course, the Baylor Bear senior serving on the far side of your screen was the first Baylor Bear women's player since 2015 to be named all Big 12 first team singles player last season. Rock solid at the top of the lineup for the Bears. 11-7 overall in the spring. All 18 decisions she played on that number 1 singles court. Of course, 2 more break chances to come for the Jayhawks. A reminder, Baylor takes the doubles point. That means they need to win 3 out of these 6 singles matches. Kansas needing to win 4. All of these matches, best 2 out of 3 sets. No ad scoring. Tiebreaker at 6-all. of a forehand there. Kansas breaks back. 4-3 all here on one. With that in mind, let's go to court number 2. And again, just want to set the scene for all of you listeners here, viewers, excuse me, that's a podcast habit, of what we've got going on across the board. It has been all Kansas here on court number 2. Redshirt freshman Maria Titova racing out to a 4-love lead. Baylor freshman Eschner Benina. Kansas serving near side of your screen now, 4-1 lead. For both of these players, Tova, again, the redshirt freshman. Top 400 ITF junior prior to coming to school. Also racked up a couple of WTA Pro Tour points. Near the top 1,000 of the WTA rankings. Flip side, Shisher Benina, last season top 30 in the ITF junior rankings. He's the #1 ranked junior doubles player in all of Russia. Won both the singles and doubles championship in the U18. Oh, excuse me. No, you're right. It's not. I do apologize to all of you listeners. That's on me. I'd forgotten court numbers don't correspond with the singles positions here at Baylor. Three, indeed it is. Excuse me, the #3 singles position's court number 2, though. Benina leading. This, of course, court number 3 we were on. That's the #5 singles position. What's on me here? See a break point coming up. So here we see a deuce point coming up, and again, we apologize for the confusion there. Have the court numbers up, not the singles positions will stay. Here a deuce point coming up. Break of serve. No, excuse me, that was a hold there. No, that was a break of serve. So 5-1 here. And here's what happened, folks. We apologize for that fact. Court numbers not corresponding again to the singles positions at Baylor. Here's what we know. Court 1 is the number 1 singles position. We're going to set all of the matchups, though, for you elsewhere. Let's go to court number 4 now, which is your number 2 singles match. Again, that matchup right now on court number 4 is your number 2 singles match. Let's go there if we can, super producer Danny Westoff. Here we go. This is your number 2 singles battle. The aforementioned redshirt freshman Maria Titova for Kansas. Currently up big, 5-love, 15-30 here. And Isabella Arvison, junior, transfer from the University of Alabama. Sails long on her there. For Titova, so now 30 all here. If we can, Westoff, I want you to queue up number 5 singles, just in case we get a set point there. We're inching close to it for the Baylor Bears. Going to try and jump around here. Going to introduce everyone when things calm down a bit, but we've got some endings of sets happening across the board. In fact, if we can, I know we've hung around with this point, but we've got that set point coming on. Let's go to that number 5 singles position now. Love 40. 4 set points coming up for Anita Sadjeva, freshman out of Ukraine, for the Baylor Bears. Sadjeva serving, despite what the scoreboard says on the far side of your screen. And the former 18 and under junior Ukraine champion takes the first set. 6-1 over the Kansas Jayhawks. So, set number 1 on the board for the Bears. Meanwhile, let's go back to number 2 singles if we can. Set point right here for Titova. And it looks like she's got it. Bagel in the books for the Jayhawks. So it's 1 set apiece now. Meanwhile, let's go to the number 6 singles position if we can. And again, going to try and introduce some players as we go here. Right now for the Baylor Bears on court, Paula Baragnano. We've now a junior, indeed, for the Baylor Bears. Heck of a passing shot there for Kansas freshman Mariana Manyoma Velasquez. Look for the Baylor Bears here. Bargnano, one of the standout performers. And what was certainly a bounce-back season for the Bears last year. For Bargnano, 14-4 in dual matches and singles throughout the course of 2021. Freshman jitters here for Velasquez. Sails though on Baragnano. Sick'em Bears from T-Rex. Always great to hear from you, T. Sure, I can hear you somewhere screaming through the bleachers. Still another set point here for the Bears. Took that doubles point again. First set in the books as well. On court number 5. So they look to pull away here. 5-2 leads on courts 3 and 4 as well. We'll check in there momentarily. Big break. Oh, it's in. Weird things happen. On court number 6, folks. In the end, though, Baragnano. 6-2 first set. That's 2 on the board for the Bears. Can they get number 3 and 4? Well, they've got a set point right now on court number 3. That's where we go next. Excuse me, singles position number 3. Thank you, super producer Daniel Westoff. Sheher Benina, former top junior in the world. 5-2, 3 set points now. Smagina, Kansas. One fought off there for the Jayhawk. We talk about it so frequently here on our college tennis broadcast. Momentum is the name of the game in this sport. As one court goes, so frequently do the others. And right now we're in the midst of one of those critical Baylor runs. 2 first sets off the board. Chance to secure 2 more. The 3 and 4 singles positions here. 2 more set points here on 3. Forehand sails wide. So another first set in the books for the Bears. That's 3, 6-2 here from Sheher Benina on court 3. Let's go to 4 if we can. Herrera, Banana. Now quadruple set point as she serves. Up 5-2, 40 love. What a start this would be for the Bears. After, again, a puzzling loss to BYU. Yes, they were without their number 1 singles player. Yes, they were experimenting with the singles lineup, but still not the way Bears expected to start their season. Certainly when we talked to head coach Joey Scrivano prior to the year, a conversation you can go hear on our Cracked Interviews podcast feed. Talked about how he expected this to be a bounce back season for the Bears, for them to once again be in the mix for a Big 12 title, for a top 16 seed come NCAAs. This would be a good, this would be a good start to that campaign here. Bounce back, take a comfortable 4-0 win over a conference foe. See if they can make it 4 first sets. Make it 4. 6-2 first set on the board. Baylor getting the job done everywhere. They sweep the 3 through 6 singles position in first sets. And now if you're Kansas, boy, do you need to build some momentum going your way. Let's go to court number 1 if we can right now. And go Nue. Up 5-4. Love 15. In the Baylor Bear service game. See if Ngonui can just get some momentum going for her team. Great point. Kellen Gonue doesn't love getting in those outer thirds of the court, playing defensive tennis. Much prefers to be in the center of the court dictating. I mean, who doesn't? Certainly, I thought that slice there in particular opened up the court. 15 all here. Meanwhile, Titova racing for the Jayhawks on court number 2. Sorry, got a 6-0 love one love lead. Opened up.
Let's go. Go, Alina. Go, Anita.
Is that an overrule? Given the long stare, looks like it might just have been. So, 30-15 here now. Here for the first set. After that, I want to reset, talk about where things stand across the country as well. Again, 4-5, 30 all Baylor serving. Doubles point and 4 first sets on the board. Now 2 set points coming up for Ngannou, excuse me. Be a nice ending here for the Jayhawks. Get some momentum building as we turn towards the second half of this singles battle. Ball goes out. Call confirmed. So 5 all here at the number 1 singles position. Gutsy play there. Turning to the drop shot, but hey, when it's working for you, it's working for you. And right now for the Baylor Bears, it is working on just about every court. Look at the scoreboard there to the right of your screen. Bears up a set in 1-0. 3 different courts. That's all they need. Close out those 3. That's their pathway to 4 for Kansas. Certainly feeling good about court number 2. Look at that play. Great movement there forward from Ngannou. It's a really nice ball there from Ngannou. Second best record on the Kansas roster last season, 8-9 overall in singles. Now, yes, it's not great. It was a tough year for the Jayhawks. A young team, though. They bring pretty much everyone back from that squad. Ngannou to get that experience at the top of the lineup, go 8-9, playing the 1 and 2 singles positions. Hopefully those lumps she takes last year helps her here. For her throughout the season, got good wins last year over Baylor, number 2 singles spot. She holds 4-6-5 here on court number 1. Meanwhile, again, all Baylor Bears at the bottom of the lineup. Let's go, though, to the bright spot for the Kansas Jayhawks. Right now, it is all Titova at the number 2 singles position. 6-love, 2-love, 30-love lead. For transfer, Isabella Harvison from the University of Alabama. Looking for aspects of positivity to build on. Certainly, freshman Titova's performance today, one of those things for Coach Chapman. Now if you're Harbison, put 1 on the board. Don't be the first match done today. That's your goal the rest here. You see your teammates. You can scoreboard watch in advantageous positions. Serving, though, from Titova sets up 3 game point chances here to extend that lead. 9 straight games here at the number 2 singles spot. So Titova keeps on rocking and rolling. 6-love, 3-love. She leads at number 2 in the meantime. Baylor trying to do that same thing on court number 3. Another one of those top freshmen in performance here today, or performing here today. It's Alina Shishirbanina, our top 30 junior out of Russia. 6'2", 2-love, 30-love now serving. Sonia Smagina, senior out of Russia for Kansas. Excuse me, it's Smagina serving. Smagina on the far side of your screen. One sprays wide. Won't lie, it's my first time getting to see Shishirbanina play here for the Baylor Bears. He's the number 1 ranked junior doubles player in Russia. Winner, singles and doubles at the U18 Moscow Cup prior to coming to Baylor. No, it's only been a few points, but you can tell she loves to load on that forehand wing. Certainly a weapon there, turning into that return of serve to set up 3 more breakpoint chances. Of course, after this, we're going to go to court number 1. Right now, Crywatch, 3 game points to force a breaker there Look at how aggressive she is here and her return positioning. Forces the double fault. And with that, we'll take a 6-2-3 love lead here on court number 3. Meanwhile, let's go back to one tiebreaker to decide the first set. And again, if you're Kansas, yeah, there's still a lot of match to play. Got to get over that finish line if you're the Baylor Bears. But right now, Baylor's taken 4 first sets. They took the doubles point. Up a set in 3-0 on one court. Set in 2-1 on a couple of others as well. If you take this first set, momentum begins to build. It's a big breaker here on one. Feels like Baylor could close the door here with a victory. Pressure moment like this, who do you want to be, the aggressor or the retriever? You imagine the aggressor there. Great move. Ganue sets up the overhead. Again, Karawadge likes to get to that slice backhand, does the Baylor Bear. Jayhawk seems to recognize that fact, pinch in on that ball whenever she's gotten the opportunity. And you break right back to Kansas, 1-1 here on court 1 in the first set breaker. Great pinch forward there again. Who would you rather be? The aggressor. In this case, the aggressor. Now, mini break up 3-1 for the Baylor Bears here on one. Meanwhile, if we can, nope, we missed it. Baylor break 3-1 now on court number 5. So they're up a set and a break now on 2 different courts. All Baylor Bears here right now, except for on court 2. Kansas freshman, Titova, 6-love, 4-love lead. I feel like if Baylor takes this first set, it could be that push over the finish line they need. Oh. That land in? Tough to tell from that reaction. Indeed, it does. Magic stuff right now off the bracket of Baylor Bear. Mel Krywatch, 4-1 lead for her now. That'll work. 5-1 lead she races out to here on court number 1. And again, reminder, winner of this match tomorrow on number 1 faces Erin Cayetano of USC. There are a lot of similars between her and Mel here for Baylor. Forehand centric, quick. Want to take that ball early on the rise. You can see right now, again, it's all Baylor Bears across all of these courts. You look up at the scoreboard right now. 6-2 3-love on 3, 6-2 6-1 3-1 on 5, 6-2 3-2 on 6. Baylor Bears putting forward the strong performance, the sort of performance you expect to see from a host in their first match of the region. But again, given the Baylor Bears struggles against BYU to start the season, and yeah, they beat Illinois, but they weren't fantastic. To be healthy, playing their best 6 today. Got to be happy if you're a Bear fan right now. And yes, I know, a little frozen here on picture 1. Play site not ready to call this first set quits quite yet. Now 6-1 quintuple. That's 5, right? Quadruples 4. We'll say quintuple, I believe is the term. Set point here for the Bears. And again, this feels like this could be the nail in the coffin for the Jayhawks. It's a good way to fight it out. Backhand winner. Oh, excuse me. Bat ball in the net. Something clearly happened there. First set goes to the Bears. 7-6. 7-1 here. So again, 5 first sets now for Baylor. Doubles point in hand as well. Looks like they are going to set themselves up for a matchup tomorrow against the University of Southern California for a spot in the Final 16. But with that in mind, I want to reset where things stand. Talk about the action that's happened across the board today here on ITA ITA Kickoff weekend. Let's start by, again, just going to the big scoreboard provided by our friends at Slam Tennis. Show all of you some of the results that have unfolded. Of course, it started earlier out on the day with some drama on the women's side. UCF host this year, round of 16 last year, a couple of missing faces in their lineup. They got pushed. They were, down for the first, I'd say 55 minutes of singles. Ultimately, though, able to scrap their way back. 4-2 victory for them. Good 4-1 victory for Mississippi State on the women's side as well. Good 4-2 win for Tulsa in terms of, the seeds we've seen compete on the day. Texas took about an hour and a half in their 4-0 victory over Florida Atlantic, very much looking like defending national champions. Of course, you had North Carolina defending ITA, national indoor champs, back-to-back defending champs, dominant 4-0 over Charlotte. Georgia, Cal, dominant 4-0 victories over North Florida and BYU, respectively. Virginia, the same over James Madison. Had a couple of 4-3 thrillers on the day as well. Obviously, we were fortunate enough to be on the call for USC's 4-3 win over Miami. Miami taking the doubles point first sets at the 1, 2, and I believe 4 singles positions. In the end, though, it was USC able to flip the script. 3-set wins from number 1 player in the nation, Erin Cayetano at 1, Selma Ewing, dominant second set. Then they get wins from their freshmen at 5, and the third set, 7-6 in the victory, 7-6 in the third victory for Danielle Wilson. 4-3 Trojans. They advance to play the winner of this Baylor-Kansas matchup. Of course, you had a 4-3 win for Washington over Denver. Why is that relevant? Washington now very winnable match, it feels like, against a vulnerable UCLA women's team coming off of a loss to LMU earlier in the week. That one will be fascinating. And then, 4-3, a 4-3 win, currently 3-all right now between Auburn and Arizona State in Orlando. Winner of that faces UCF tomorrow, but wouldn't be a kickoff weekend without 4-3 thrillers, right? We're certainly getting that on the women's side. You look for the men. Things started off with some drama. Memphis, Western Michigan, 5 3-set matches across the board there. Memphis able to take the 4 they needed to earn a 4-2 victory. You also had, pretty comfortable, I can say it, dominant win. No disrespect to Old Dominion. Tennessee very much looked like the number 1 team in the country. finally put forward their most dominant doubles effort to date. Wins from Harper and Walton, wins from Monday and Prada. Hudden Mitsui had triple match point at the time of the clinch. And then, again, took about an hour in singles. Monday, Mitsui, Hud delivering victories 4-0 for Tennessee on the day. In terms of your other men's matches, we saw 4-3 thriller Notre Dame 4-3 over SMU. Two tough losses for Grant Chen and the Mustangs. Now 4-3 during the week to Texas Tech. 4-3 here to Notre Dame. They'll get a chance to bounce back, of course. We've got some other action about to kick off across the country. Michigan taking on Wake Forest. That match might be underway on the men's side. That's a first round match. Feels very much like the winner of that likely advances into the final 16. We've got Rice, SMU on the women's side happening. Stanford, Arkansas on the women's side happening later. Vanderbilt versus San Diego. Those aforementioned UCLA women looking to bounce back against Cal Poly today. So plenty of fun action here on day one of the ITA kickoff weekend. Of course, we've got 7 regions. This was 10. 7 regions, to cover here on our Cracked Racquets channel. On the men's side, we are so fortunate to be able to cover the Baylor men as well. We'll have USC. We'll have Tennessee again on the broadcast. On the women's side, we've got Ohio State, we've got Duke, we've got Baylor. Of course, one more that I'm blanking out on in this moment. I do apologize for that fact. But again, 7 regions for all of you. We hope all of you. NC State, thank you very much. Super producer Daniel Westoff. 7 regions of coverage. We hope you'll stick with us as we carry through as we carry our coverage through Monday until play has concluded. With that in mind, let's get back to our nightcap here on our broadcast. We're going to go to number 2 singles right now. Looks like Baylor transfer. And again, Isabella Harvison from the University of Alabama. Not her best performance on the job certainly today, but looks like she's about to get on the board here. Now, you have to say more than anything else, though, it's the red shirt freshman, Titova, Fort Kansas, very much looking like Coach Chapman proclaimed she might in our Cracked Interviews podcast before the start of the season. They were hoping to get Titova last year. Unfortunately, just not able to get over with the pandemic and everything that's transpired. Now she's back on court competing this season for the Jayhawks. She's looked dominant. She's been the, silver lining, I suppose, in today's result. Still game points here for Harbison. She looks to, again, just get on the board here. So there we go. Harvison on the board, 6-love, 5-1. If we can, super producer Westoff, can we put the scoreboard up right side of the screen? Just want to give a score update for everyone. You can see there, courts 4, 5, and 6. Number 4, 5, and 6 singles position. Not necessarily those courts, but Baylor right now with leads at 4, 5, and 6, set and break leads, by the way. At 3, 5, and 6, not 4, 5, and 6. That is a decisive forehand overhead combination from Titova there. But again, Bears take the doubles points. 5 first sets, now up set and break leads. Of course, 3, 5, and 6. Of course, we'll try to cover all of the set points, match points as they unfold here. For now, locked in on this Kansas performance. Maria Titova, 6-love, 5-1, 15-love. 3 points away from preventing the shutout here. Go, and I promise all of you tomorrow the slow clap will be ready. For now, I want you to think it in your heads. Quadruple match point here. We've got a 6-love, 6-1 victory for the Kansas Jayhawks. There it is. Kansas Jayhawks on the board. Redshirt freshman Maria Titova, 6-love, 6-1 victory. 1-all in the dual match, but again, Baylor in control. We're going to go to one of those courts where they are in the lead right now. That's court number 5. 2 points away is Aniva Sadyeva, freshman out of Ukraine. 6-1, 5-1, 30-love lead now. The lefty has given all sorts of difficulties. Has forced all sorts of issues, excuse me, for her opponent today, senior Tiffany Lagarde. First match point fought off. Still have 4 to go. And again, that's why you build the 40-love lead, right? Or excuse me, 3 to go. Sadyeva, though. Looking for the bounce back here, no doubt. You look for these Baylor Bears again. Drop their match to BYU. She was able to earn a 3-set victory there. And the victory in her match against Illinois as well. 2-0 on the young season is the freshman. Can make it 3-0. Looking to put that point on the board here. Double fault though. All right. It's 2 fought off for Lagarde. Meanwhile, we are keeping our eye on court number 6, Bargnano. 6-2, 5-2, 15-30 lead. She's 2 points away on court number 6. There's a match point there. We'll get there as well. Still 2 more match points here for Sadyeva. Match point is happening on 6. Westhoff, keep that queued. Two fought off here. Let's see if we can't get a match point victory. Or another fought off, perhaps, for the Jayhawks. It's a double fault on 6 to end it. So Bargnano, 6-2, 6-2 win here. Meanwhile, again, that's 2-1 Baylor Bears now. Doubles point in the books. 6-2, 6-2 win on 6. That depth separating them today. And we say it all the time. It's everyone can be good at 1 singles. You can find that 1 player. You can find that 2 player. But can you find 6 contributors in your lineup? Today, the Baylor Bears have that depth separating them from their conference foe. Match point number 4 here for the freshman Sadyeva. Save the best serve for last. Sadyeva, 6-1, 6-1, excuse me, puts point number 3 on the board for the Baylor Bears. And now we turn to the number 3 singles position. Shishirbanina. Another one of those uber-talented freshmen on the roster this season for Coach Joey Scrivano and the Baylor Bears. Again, 6-2, 5-2 lead for her now. You can see that scoreboard here on the right side of your screen. Baylor Bears dominant just about everywhere. Lacasse was up a break at that number 4 spot for Kansas. Looks like Herrero got that break back. So again, back on serve there in the second set. Meanwhile, Tenganue's credit, she's up a break. Looks like she's about to take a double break 3-love lead at 1, although perhaps some scoreboard watching there for the Baylor number 1 singles player still here. Sherbonina serving for the match to set up a date between the Baylor Bears and the USC Trojans. Sails wide as well. So love 30 now. By the way, Auburn closes out. Dramatic 4-3 victory over Arizona State to set up a date with UCF. Spot in the round of 16 still on the line. So a big win there for the Auburn Tigers. That's one of those NCAA impacting sort of wins. Ooh. Got the ball she was looking for. That's a gimme. Sherbonina, though, knocked down love 40. So it ain't over yet for these Jayhawks. Stay alive here is the senior, Regina. Meanwhile, getting underway right now, Michigan, Wake Forest on the men's side. Still plenty of evening action here across the college tennis world. Let's see if Sherbonina can dig her way out of this hole here, earn herself a match point and her team a dual match point sort of opportunity. But instead, it's a double. No, not a double fault. Excuse me. Well, those are tactics I'm unfamiliar with. On the rise. I don't know if that was a drop shot. A little half volley. Certainly unexpected. But instead, it's now, what is this, a quintuple threat? Quadruple threat? Let's see. Game point, break point, set point, match point, dual match point, and tuple threat here for Sherbonina. She looks to send her team to the next round. Wow. I mean, when I say that ball came down slowly, if it wasn't the other side, again, if you are on site at Baylor, you know where that ball landed. Overrule on match point. Shisher Panina in disbelief. But we play on here in this match. And I'll tell you what, not saying that could be the turning point, folks. But I've seen some weird stuff happen in my time as a college tennis fan. 3-5 now. It's the Kansas senior Sonia Smagina surviving. You look across the board right now. Baylor's still who you'd rather be, up a set on every remaining court. Now up a set and a break, 6-2, 4-3 on 4. 4-love for Ngannou in that second set on 1. Excuse me. Okay, keep playing here. Anger there. Smagina has not played a good game here. All of a sudden, 4 more match point chance for the Baylor Bears. Chances, excuse me. Let's see if she can't get the job done. Sent just wide. 15-40 now. Again, it's freshman Alina Benina, excuse me. Former top 30 ITF junior in the world. We send the Baylor Bears. Second round matchup with USC. There it is. Shisher Benina, 6-2, 6-3, Baylor. 4-1, they advance over the Kansas Jayhawks. Up next, a date with the USC Trojans. What a fantastic day 1 of our coverage of the 2022 ITA Kickoff weekend. Of course, there are still matches happening across the country, and as we've discussed before, that's what makes college tennis so special. It's that there are so many different matches, so many different levels, so many different players with so many different backgrounds, providing an outstanding and exciting product. So again, be sure to follow day in, day out, all of the scores with our friends at Slam Tennis. Of course, be sure to join us here on our broadcast over the course of the next 3 days, as well as we cover 7 different regions happening across the country. Let's see if I can get them all this time. Of course, on the men's side, we're so fortunate to have the USC men, to be having the Baylor men as well. We're so fortunate on the women's side to be joined by NC State. We're so fortunate to be joined by the Baylor women. So fortunate to have Duke on our stream as well, and Ohio State. Of course, we'll be back tomorrow morning with our Tennessee men's region final. Don't think I forgot about you, Volunteers. Tennessee, so impressive in a 4-0 win today over Old Dominion. And then again, not only will we have we'll have the tail end, I'm sure, of the Miami taking on Kansas matchup, but then we will be back for Baylor taking on USC tomorrow as well. Plenty of other regions beginning their play on Saturday. Of course, we'll try to monitor all of that here on our broadcast over the course of the next 3 days as we try to provide all of you college tennis fans with the coverage we know you all deserve. Again, bunch of good matches still happening across the country. We've got time, folks, right? Barty, Collins, it doesn't start till 3:30 a.m. How are you going to fill your time between now and then? Watch and enjoy some college tennis, whether it be UCLA, Wake Forest, Michigan, Vanderbilt, Stanford. Plenty of fun action happening not only today, but over the next few days as well. Of course, a shout out to all of you. I know, again, Big T, my guy, T-Rex, I know you're in here. I know Chris Halioris has been here. So many different people who take the time to reach out while we do these broadcasts. We always enjoy interacting with all of you college tennis fans. It's why we do this, to try and bring all of us together, to show how many people there are out there enjoying this fantastic product. Of course, I would be remiss but I give a shout out to the best super producer in the business on the ones and two, Daniel Westoff, killing it as always. And again, this was a day one product. Just wait till day 2, day 3, day 4, when things are really firing on all cylinders. With all that said, I'm your host, Alex Gruskin. We hope all of you enjoyed our day one coverage of the 2022 ITA kickoff weekend. We're going to sign out for now. We should be back no later than 12 p.m. Tomorrow. Of course, check out our Cracked Racquets Twitter feed for an exact starting time. Might be a bit earlier than that. I apologize. It's just been, again, a lot of tennis for us to monitor. So we will be back tomorrow with more coverage. But for now, for our super producer, Daniel Westoff, and all of us here at Cracked Racquets, again, I'm your host, Alex Gruskin. We hope you enjoyed our day one coverage of the 2022 ITA kickoff weekend.